Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm based in Sydney, Australia. I've been living in various countries for many years, and I've been working with women for over a decade, educating them about yoga, and more importantly, yoga in pregnancy, birthing, and mothering.
Wow.
So I'm a childbirth educator as well.
Right, and we just attended your mindful birthing workshop.
Yep.
And it was mind-blowing. We really enjoyed it. Could you just give us a little more synopsis about mindful birthing for the women out there? Just to let them know what is it all about.
Okay, so Mindful Birth started as a passion because Jean and I wanted to support women during pregnancy. We're both yoga teachers and dedicated to yoga practice and have seen the benefits of that in our lives. And so when we became mothers, or even during conception, we realized that women lack information around birthing. And through Jean's research and other studies as well, we found that the practice of yoga, which is a really practice of mindfulness, which is paying attention in the moment, noticing your thoughts without judgment, so cultivating that sense of observation, and that we wanted to share those practices with women from everywhere because we found that women felt like birth happens to them. So they get pregnant, they go through so many experiences, and at the end of that, some of them feel quite disconnected to their experience, and some to the extent of feeling quite traumatized by birth. So what we are hoping to offer, which we have been for many years now, is that through mindfulness, through informed choices, so research-based information, the tools and the importance of support, that we get this holistic approach to pregnancy birthing. And it is under mindfulness and yoga, but that's only one aspect of things. It's it's about the whole woman.
What I'm hearing from you is that movement through yoga meditation is great for the women who are pregnant,
Yes,
birthing, and of course after
absolutely,
postpartum as
absolutely.
well. So how about those women who have these, ideas that, oh no, I should be not doing any yoga,
Yeah.
I should not be doing any other exercises during my pregnancy. So how do we change their mindset? What do you think is the
I think this is the important part about the training that we offer, is that we educate teachers and doulas and midwives, and we've had obstetricians and pediatricians take our training, that you can teach women safely, whether they have pre-existing conditions. You can teach them restorative yoga, which is super gentle. Women who can't move, they're bedridden because of maybe a pre-existing condition. Any teacher who's gone through this training might be able to help and educate and share yoga to these women. So you're not limited to women who are able and who are healthy in pregnancy. There are practices that's suitable for women who might have these conditions. Breathing is important. I think we have a perception that yoga is simply about movement. There's more to yoga than that. So there's breath and there's meditation if it's something that they want to explore.
What do you think about women going through cesarean,
Yes.
elective cesarean,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
and natural birthing?
Okay, so I think we need to have a good understanding of what's happening in the birthing world, that women have options. I think that's the most important thing. And I think sometimes when we work with medical professionals, we have a limited view of our options. And I think this is one of the kind of what we offer, is that educating our students, eventually our teachers, when they train for mindful birth, that women have options and women have rights. And if they know what their options are, then they can make that informed choice. So number one rule is that we shouldn't make, as yoga teachers and educators, we shouldn't make women feel bad about the choices that we make, okay? Sometimes they just lack the information. There are different ways to birth babies. One is through a vaginal birth. One can have interventions, so things that could happen to them, so things in the medical field that can be introduced in labor and delivery. One can have a vaginal birth or a natural birth without any of those interventions. The other would be a hospital birth, a hospital setting. The last one would be a C-section, and sometimes an elective C-section, which is a C-section that a mother chooses, and sometimes it's a C-section where by it happens as a cascade of events unraveling that can lead into a C-section. So I think we should have a good understanding of what happens first and foremost in terms of physiology of birth. We also have to respect what's happening in women's bodies. And I think once we kind of have a good understanding of what happens in labor, where mother's headspace is at, what her options are at, then she can make a choice as how to birth baby. There are many benefits in natural birthing or vaginal birthing, one of which is, you produce oxytocin, which can help with facilitate contractions. It can also help produce endorphins, which is, you know, that hormone that gives you that natural high so you can work with contractions. You also produce adrenaline, which gets you going so that you can work through those contractions and kind of birth your baby out. And then you've got adrenaline, which are your stress hormones. And your adrenaline may slow down labor, but at the same time, it's there for pushing. So hormones play a key role. But if mothers do not have an understanding of how important those hormones are in connection to birthing, then normally women are subjected to all of these interventions. So C-section versus natural birthing, I think if women have the information and the ability to choose a birthing experience that they want to. Other benefits of vaginal birth would be allowing the baby to pass through the birth canal for it to embrace all of the good bacteria, so it boosts up their immune system.
Right.
That's one. Healing for vaginal birth is a lot quicker than a C-section, so we have to remember that a C-section is a major surgery. But there are instances where it is needed. So for special conditions such as placenta previa, preeclampsia, sometimes it's really high detrimental to mother or baby, or something is wrong with mother and baby during that process, then a C-section can save the mother and baby's life. But the most important thing really is not how one ends up having baby, it's how one is made to feel during that process, and that informed choice is part of it, and education is part of it.
Right. Then there's certain countries
Yeah.
where women have no other choice
Mm-hmm.
than to go for cesarean
Yeah.
because they promote cesarean. I think
Yeah.
countries like Brazil, if not wrong.
Brazil and other Asian
Other Asian
countries,
countries.
Thailand has a high one. Even in Australia, some hospitals would have more than 50%
So
C-section rates.
why do you think so? Why is that so?
Okay, so a lot of it has to do with, if you look at the history of birthing and how it changed, and I can't, you know, it will take a whole day to explain to you kind of the changes, but the primary reason why a lot of these procedures are introduced is it came from a very good place, which is to save mother and baby. But what has happened is, as we progressed as a society and industry, that we wanted things to go according to a plan, okay, and procedure, and all these procedures are put to place. So without understanding that birthing sometimes takes time, that every woman birth differently. Some women would labor longer, some women would labor short, in a very short span of time. Our bodies react to all of, you know, the contractions and all of it very differently. So because women don't have the time to labor that long in hospitals, and time frames are imposed and procedures are imposed, and now we have procedures that can make labor quicker, and some women think that C-section is easier than vaginal birth. So that has changed the landscape in birthing, and this is why you've got high C-section rates, because it's quicker, it's easier, but what women kind of miss is that there are benefits to having other options, and if baby is completely fine, low risk pregnancy, mother is okay, we believe, and research actually shows, that there are benefits to vaginal birth, and women should be given those options. One of which is if women can labor away from the bed, they should be moving. They should take a comfortable position. That could be any position that they wish for. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
So
I hope that was
much.
helpful.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure women out there would love to hear what you just said.
Yeah.
And thanks for your time and energy.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.